We're both here. Emmett!
Hey.
Surprise! Emmett! Come here, best friend! I love you! Oh my goodness! Hi, Emmett! Emmett! I can't say that. I don't want to say that Amber's doing it more than Johnny or Johnny's doing it more than Amber, because that's not what I'm here to do, is not to comment on that. But fuck Amber Heard. Amber Heard.
Oh my god. I can think of that sound going with.
Yeah. Jesus. I can't whistle very well. Ugh.
Uh-oh.
The whistle! You did it!
Emmett's coming.
Hi, Emmett. Is that better?
No. Oh.
Welcome
to the dudes with the moods.
Woo!
Woo.
How are you today?
Okay.
Are you
How
sure?
are you? Yes. My setup's a little unstable right now, but that's okay. It's gonna be good. Everything's fine.
It's fine. It makes
How
good
are
content. When things are a little bit chaotic, it never, I'd rather watch that than something that goes perfect every time,
Well then, you should watch my life.
Anyways.
What's your mood?
My mood this week is about the toxicity of Hollywood. I'm just kidding. But no, that is my mood, is like toxic Hollywood culture, that kind of thing. If that makes any sense.
It does. I feel like there has been a lot of that as of late. And
yeah,
the general public feeds off of it, I think, and I don't give a shit, honestly.
It's entertaining, like, I won't lie. Like, I get like why people get so fucking wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it can get entertaining, and you can get like sucked into like this deep hole with it, because you can just keep finding, you know what I mean? It just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Going and going.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I just I'm taking kind of the lead on this story, since Taylor took the lead last time. And yeah, it's gonna be kind of a short episode. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, so as to not overwhelm our audience or bore our audience. Vanessa, I'm just kidding.
Is there anything specific you want to address with this toxic culture?
I have a few things. I just have like a few bullet points to like feed into like, I guess, a main bullet point, I suppose.
Okay.
I just wanted to start talking about something that's very relevant right now, and you know what that is. Okay. Which is the Johnny Heard, the Johnny Depp.
He took her last name.
She forced him into it. No. And I know people are probably tired of hearing about it, which is why I'm not gonna like, I might use it to go into certain points, but I'm not really gonna go over details of the trial.
Right.
But it's just mostly just how it's fucked up about how televised it is. Which I mean, those kind of things are allowed to be in the public eye, and I just mean those types of trials, because I think it's a civil trial, or considered a civil suit type thing.
I believe so.
So people are allowed to be in the courtroom like regular people, but the fact that it's just what's up? You go.
I think that's for any trial though. I think
Is it?
random people, yeah, like Jodi Arias. That was all on.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure people were like lining up to try to get there first so that they could get a seat in it. And
yeah,
I think any trial is. I think that's allowed. I don't know for sure though. Don't hold me to that. I'm not a lawyer.
Right. I don't know for sure either. So, regardless, this one is highly televised, and there's like I just feel like it's really messed up because, regardless of your feelings towards either of these people, this is a very like private matter, and
right.
it alone, like if you have people outside the courtroom because they're fans, or inside the courtroom for that matter because they're fans and they were just able to get in, that's one thing. Like you can't really get away from that because it's always allowed, but the whole televised thing just bothers me.
I agree. And I also think that it takes away like the seriousness of the court system. I feel like because these people are actors and they're interviewing other actors and stuff, so they're like making a show of it. I feel. I don't know.
Who's making
Maybe
a
I'm
show
just
of it?
judgmental.
Oh, you mean the courthouse themselves, or the
No, just like the participants.
like
Have
Johnny
you said
and
who
Amber?
they are yet? I'm sorry.
Johnny and Amber? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how I'm going to say this without giving my opinion, honestly.
Let's hear it.
Okay, from a general standpoint of someone who doesn't have opinions, I guess, or whatever.
Typical woman.
I see, right? Who needs them? I think with them being actors, yes, and them being on camera, they do have a certain, like, it's probably not even on purpose. They just automatically put on a face and whatever show, like you're saying, because that's what they're used to doing, right? The camera goes up and it's acting time. One of the things that I just hate about it being so televised and stuff is that no matter what's being said, a lot of people don't care about what they're actually hearing, like any of the facts and stuff. It's fan culture, like they're hyper fans of mostly Johnny. Like I feel like Johnny has more fans just because he's more known than Amber. Amber hasn't been in really much really anything. She's been in the Aquaman movie, which I just recently watched, and it's not that great.
24 hours later.
It's fine.
Okay. Are we resuming?
We are resuming. All right. I think we left off, and I was talking about toxic fan culture. I think that's where we left off. And how fans kind of blindly follow people that they enjoy. You know what I mean? That they're fans of because of the fact that they just are who they are, instead of like looking at all the facts.
Right. Rather than like actual things that they've done, they just focus on like, well, kind of like me and Kanye.
Yeah, Taylor, exactly.
I'm part of the problem. You can name anything bad Kanye's done, and I'm always just like, what about my beautiful dark twisted fantasy?
Well, Taylor, exhibit A.
At least I'm self-aware.
I feel like if he was a normal person, right, a normal man, and Kim K was a normal woman, and they were divorcing and there was kids involved, and he was doing what he is doing right now, we would call him a psycho.
Would we though?
We would. Some of the things that I've seen, like Instagram posts of him like, and he'll be like, oh, me and Kim K are definitely gonna be back together and stuff like that.
Is
And
he still
it's
doing
like
that?
he the last time, well, it's been a while since I even that's crossed my mind. I don't pay attention to that whole situation. But I'm just saying, like, it was a while ago, like,
Yeah.
before the last episode that we talked about it, and so it's been a while. But yeah, anyways, we had to talk all about that. But I just, toxic fan culture. You stop following Kanye.
But my
Blindly.
beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy.
Punch you through the screen. But yeah, okay. So moving on from the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, because that was just one example. Another example that I wanted to point out was the whole Harvey Weinstein thing that happened. And obviously, like,
yeah,
that's a big part of Hollywood, is getting roles and how you get these roles. And
correct. No, like what you have to do. Like it shouldn't be
I
like
didn't
that.
see you do that. I thought you just gave me a peace sign. I was like, oh, peace.
Add me on MySpace.
Be in my top 5.
Oh my gosh. Join my whore train.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
PC for PC. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Harvey sucks.
That was a big thing that was happening, and I'm sure it hasn't really gotten any better, as much as people like to say like it has. And after like I don't remember if that was in direct correlation to the Me Too movement that was happening, or if that was something else. Yeah.
It was like a fucked up, it probably still is, because it's not like it went away with Harvey. It's just like a fucked up standard that was like, hey, like, you want to be a star? Suck my dick. Like, isn't that cool? How about you just let me be a good actor? If I wanted to be an actor and suck dick for it, like, I would be on Pornhub rather than
exactly. That's the place for that. Exactly.
Yes.
Hollywood isn't. I feel bad for people that get into the industry and like feel like they have to do these things to make a name for themselves, because there's probably a lot of good actors out there that aren't seen or aren't given the chance just because they're not willing to do like things that other people, I guess, were more willing to do and or forced into it, Right. Because think about all the times you're like a child actor as well, and all the things that like female, even male, any child actor has to go through, being like certain ones are like sexualized, and
so many child actors grow up and they're just fucked up because of all the culture of it. I don't know. And I don't think like every big name has sucked their way to the top, No,
not at all. I don't think every big name has done that either, but I think a lot of them are actually advocates for
for not that,
because I don't know. Throw us into our next point, actually, about Mr. Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser is an angel sent straight from heaven.
He is. And it's just, people don't understand that actors have feelings and emotions and lives outside of their work, and that things affect them. It doesn't matter if. Okay, so let's just start with.
Just jump into it.
No, okay. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about Brendan Fraser, just to like, everyone knows who it is, knows who he is, but we're just.
And if you don't, you're on the wrong podcast. Go watch George of the Jungle right now.
Exactly. Go watch George of the Jungle. Go watch Journey to the Center of the Earth. I've never seen
the Mummy.
I've never seen The Mummy, but you go watch it because apparently that's like one of the big ones for him.
Fuck yeah. What else? Bedazzled, where he's got the little angel devil lady following around him. Did you see that one?
No.
He gets like 3 wishes. Anyways,
I feel like I have before, but I should watch it. There's plenty of movies of his that I haven't seen, and that's just my fault. There was a time where I thought I was like a big movie buff, but there's so many that I haven't seen that are good ones that I get like berated for, like The Mummy and
Same though.
Star Wars, even though I've started watching those, but I'm not that big of a fan, and I'm gonna lose lot of
nap time.
People. I know, exactly. We're gonna lose so many Star Wars fans. We're gonna have a bunch of people in our comments like, you haven't seen Star Wars?
Chewie would be so disappointed. Is that what they call Chewbacca? For sure.
Chewie? Yeah, I think so.
Whatever. I don't care. We can lose the Star Wars fans, get some Brendan fans. I almost said Frans.
Frans too.
Yeah. That works. Anyways, go on. What happened to Mr. Brendan?
Sorry. I'm gonna start with just like a little bit of like backstory to him.
Okay.
Just he started out just with like really small movies, ones that I've never heard of, and I'm not going to go into the names and stuff or whatever, but he was in like a lot of small roles. Typical like movie star behavior. You obviously start small and you get bigger. You hopefully have a big hit, and that's your in. And he made his fame with the movie George of the Jungle. That was like his big initial Hollywood hit, I think. As long as it came before The Mummy. No. That's actually one of the things that we're gonna talk about, because in that
I'm problematic right now, aren't I?
No, it's just in that movie and like even other ones that he's played, he basically felt like a walking steak because he was being booked for his looks, and you know, he had to be on like a strict diet and a strict workout schedule, and like a lot, and that's fine. Like a lot of people have to do that to get certain roles, but I guess it was almost like expected of him to be that way all the time. Like even probably outside of him doing movies, you know, he felt like he just had to do this to be accepted and that kind of thing. That was kind of like in his head. And that's just one of the things in Hollywood that I feel like a lot of people become a victim to, is you have to look a certain way and you have to do certain things or else you're gonna be forgotten about, which is why a bunch of people look the way they do. You always see new actors and you're like, everyone's speculating if they got plastic surgery or this and that, and by all means do whatever you want to do, but don't make it a personal decision and not like based on what others, you know, want you to do. You know, don't do that to look a certain way, unless that's the way you want to look.
I will say, there's a lot of people that look like exactly the same now. You know what I mean? Ever since, you know, Kylie started tanning herself and lying about her lip fillers and shit like that. And like, I don't know, you scroll through Instagram, I follow a lot of like makeup not posts, but like accounts and stuff, and I'm just like, this all looks like the same person. So it's like, it's weird. I don't know, everyone wants to look like them. It's so bizarre. I don't know. They all look exactly the same. They do the eyebrows the same. They got the they're lying about it. Lying about the cheek fillers too.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like usually with every I don't know if it's a generational thing or if it's different decades or however you want to like split it up, but there's always like a specific look that people go for, like popular look, and that's what they follow, and a lot of people want to just like follow the trend of looking like that. And so
maybe I'm just not trendy.
No, I mean, like, No, I'm just saying that there's always someone like super famous that not everyone, but a lot of people want to look like, and so that's like their inspo for everything. And it's just a lack of individuality, you know what I mean?
Yes. Couldn't have been better.
And I mean, I'm all about people doing whatever they want to do, but at the same time, like, just, you be your own person.
Exactly. Like, do what you want to do, but don't do what you think somebody else wants to do, if that makes sense.
You have a better chance of getting somewhere else, like, that you want to be, like a goal or whatever, being different than you do being the same, because then you have to compete with everybody else who looks the same, you know what I mean? And you're not going to be singled out for being, singled out in a good way for being different.
Right.
But anyways, back to Brendan. Unless you have more to say. Do you have more to say?
No, I was gonna ask about Brendan, but go on. You might be getting to it.
One of the things that he did a lot was he did all the stunts himself, which a lot of people do and stuff, but it caused him to get injured quite frequently. And one of the examples that was in one of the interviews or like articles that was written about him was one of these like things included getting hoisted up 60 feet and then swinging like 30 miles an hour, which is scary. That's 60 feet up. That's terrifying. I'm pretty sure that was for George of the Jungle. That sounds.
I was about to ask.
Swinging around.
Was this in a jungle setting?
Probably, but yeah, that was one of the things that he did a lot for that movie, and he eventually got injured doing that. I have another bullet that says Big Break, which is The Mummy, which I already said was George of the Jungle. So whichever one came first. I feel like I'm gonna look this up.
Sounds like we need to Google it. We need to get our facts straight.
George of the Jungle. 1997. The Mummy.
Oh, that was 99, I think.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
You're
right. Oh, so it was George probably got him in the door, and then The Mummy was like the movie that like
a big blockbuster. Because I think George of the Jungle was like aimed more towards children, whereas The Mummy was like everybody,
Yeah, that's very true. Definitely. So he definitely alcoholic. I'm just kidding. He definitely got into the industry and kind of made a name for himself, George of the Jungle, and then like he got noticed, and then he did The Mummy, and that was like his big thing. But that launched him into a series of movies that actually ended up bombing the theaters, such as Monkey Bone. I don't know if you remember that movie. It was very, very weird. And I watched it when I was a child, which isn't a good thing to watch when you're a child. I don't think it was appropriate.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure I was a child when I saw Scream. So
Jesus. With all these movies that didn't do well and were like really got really bad reviews and whatnot, he recounted himself in an interview or in an article or whatever that he was just trying way too hard in a really destructive way to be what like we said, what everyone else like he felt wanted him to be, and he started like kind of losing sight of himself, and that's the kind of things that we don't realize actors we don't realize that actors go through that, where they're
right.
It's a very it's a mental struggle, and they have internal battles with who they really are. I feel like that's the one thing that
like
actors,
all of us.
yeah, that's the one thing I feel like actors would actually go through a lot because they're acting so much or whatever.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're always in different
I can see that.
characters and they always have to put on a face. But okay, so
can I ask a
what
question? Are you still on Brendan Fraser?
Yeah. He's the
Okay.
last thing I'm talking mostly about him now. Well, the rest of the thing is all about him because that was just a really big thing that happened, and a lot of people talked about it and stuff, but he's just making his comeback or whatever, and like TikTok loves him. Like TikTok is all about Brendan Fraser's comeback. Yeah, he's such a sweet soul. He really,
I know.
He
deserves
just
the world.
Right. And I do want to make a point that we don't know these people, like actors and actresses. Why are you doing that? We don't know these people, all these actors. And so when I say he's a sweet soul, I mean that's completely just, you know what I mean?
But like I feel like you can tell when somebody just seems like a genuine person.
Right, exactly.
And
exactly.
I think Mr. Fraser embodies the genuine person role.
Right. And that's
we could be totally wrong. What if he's a piece of shit?
Well, he is innocent until proven guilty. So that's what I've learned.
Only in America.
Only in America. I hate myself.
My fellow Americans.
Okay. One of the ways that he was trying too hard was he was getting injured all the time from these stunts that he was trying to do, and all these injuries led to many surgeries, and so that was another thing that put a lot of pressure on him. He was in and out of hospitals for 7 years. It probably had a lot to do with, if you haven't noticed, Brendan Fraser's had a little weight gain and stuff like that, and that's probably has a lot to do with it. People go through a lot of medical stuff that's private, very private, and that can happen as a result.
And also, even if you take that away, just aging.
Yeah, no, and aging, of course.
Yeah.
And normal. I haven't really seen too much. Part of life. I haven't seen too much of like bullying towards him going on about that, which is nice, but obviously I don't like monitor the internet for that, so it could definitely be happening. And that's another thing that people just like feed on,
right?
They don't care to look at what's going on. They're just like
exactly
attack people.
And if it's a woman that's gained weight, they're like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant.
I know, all the fucking
like, that's a baby bump,
like tabloid worth things that come out. Everyone wants a story. They just make something out of nothing all the time. That. All right, now we're gonna get into the story. I think the time when Brendan Fraser was doing all these movies that weren't doing too well. It was in 2003. He experienced sexual assault from Philip Burke, who was a former president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Okay, so Philip Burke, I guess, was like introducing himself or something or whatever, but he like reached around and grabbed Brendan's ass and like used his finger and like touched his like in between like his taint. And I just hate that word. I fucking hate that word. I thought that's weird.
Like call it a gooch like a normal person.
Well, that it said taint in the fucking all the articles I read.
His perineum.
Perineum, okay. Yeah, we'll go medical with it.
No.
Anyways, yeah, so Philip Burke did that. And it made Brendan Fraser like really uncomfortable, and he felt like kind of sick after that. It was just like, like this isn't okay. I feel like he did try to report it to whoever you report those types of things to in that business.
Yeah.
And it didn't really amount to anything. And Philip Burke just called it a fabrication, and he did send Brendan Fraser an apology letter, but it was more of one of those things where like, I'm sorry you felt that happened, and I won't let it happen again, that kind of thing or something. Yeah, but it's just like, it's really more to save face than to actually like apologize.
His name was Philip Burke.
Philip Burke, right?
Suck my left nut, Philip Burke.
Right, like, just
Did you say like he said it was a fabrication and then he sent an apology?
yeah, but I
That makes zero sense. I mean, I believe it if he's like, oh, that's fake, but then he's like, I'm sorry that your fake thing hurt you. Like,
I think that he was right. I think he was more saying like the extent that Brendan said it went was a fabrication. Like, maybe Philip Burke said, oh, I just like, I don't know, lightly tapped him on the bum, that kind of thing. Like, even though that's so weird, like, don't touch people unless they, you know them, like, you know what I mean?
Even
and
then,
don't
make sure you're that cool with somebody,
right? Exactly. Like, read the
bum.
room, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But anyways, yeah, it's one of those things that to one person it might be just like playing around or like, you know, whatever, but to another person it could really like affect them, and so you don't get to decide what hurts a person, you know.
Not at all.
Terry Crews was a big supporter of him, which is, he said something that I just mentioned, was that one man's horseplay is another man's humiliation, and I think that's what
I agree. But I also want to know, in what world doing that to somebody is playing around?
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're like bros or some shit, like bros do weird things to each other.
I need to go ask somebody a question real quick. Like, no, there's no way. What would you do? I don't know. If my Casey, love you, but if you did that to me, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, do you need to
yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't personally do that to anybody, even the closest of my friends. Don't know why it was considered horseplay for this man, not Terry Crews, for Philip Burke.
Right.
Weirdo.
And didn't something happen to Terry Crews as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I remember reading it.
I'm not sure what, but that was one of the reasons he was a big supporter, was because something, you know, of a similar fashion happened to him. Yeah, it sucks because women or men don't receive the same kind of attention about that kind of stuff that women do, because obviously for a long time it seemed like men just weren't allowed to experience emotional damage, like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, what? I feel like it's still the same.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's very difficult.
And there's a lot of men who do get like assaulted and harassed, and if you do tell somebody about it, they're like, oh, why didn't you like it? Da da da, aren't you a man? You know?
Right. It's a very weird, it's still a thing, like it's still definitely, it's getting better, you know, and I feel like that was going back to the trial thing that's happening right now. That was one of the big things, you know. Obviously Amber is claiming abuse, Johnny's claiming abuse, and I feel that Amber assumed that she would be taken more seriously than she is because she's a woman and Johnny's a man. Per that recording that was released where she was like, tell the world, Johnny, tell the world that you're a victim. And it's like, well,
yeah,
he clearly is a victim of abuse. Yeah.
Right. Because even just saying that is abusive. Like,
right. It's manipulation, you know?
I think we should all just love everybody, stop hitting each other, stop grabbing each other in places you probably wouldn't want to be grabbed
Exactly.
by somebody you
Like,
didn't know. Maybe a loved one, not sure. Apparently that's a thing.
but yeah, no, basically for men and women, speaking up to abuse leads to being blacklisted. You know, in some cases,
Mhm.
you speak up about it and then you no longer get roles, right?
Right.
Because sometimes the people in power are the ones that you go to like tell that you're being
Right.
abused, and if they're in any way involved, then it's not, you know, it's not going to happen. You're just going to be tossed
Exactly.
aside.
They're like, oh, they can't hang.
Right. And it's the fuck, like, that's so bad. But going back to Brendan Fraser, another pressure that he has in life, I just think it can be a struggle, obviously, to have children. To have children in general is a struggle. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, just that's a pressure added to your life. It's a wonderful thing. We love kids, obviously. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Maybe I shouldn't say it like that. You know what I mean? I'm trying just to say, like, having children adds another layer to your life that you have to deal with, right? And on top of that, one of Brendan Fraser's kids is autistic, and so that's yet another layer that he, you know, has in his life that he has to navigate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until I read this. There was a very, very detailed article by GQ that someone went and talked with Brendan Fraser, and it's really, really, it's a good read. It's like a story, a fucking novel. It's super long.
Send it to me.
I will send it to you. So the article goes into like really big detail, and I found out that he when he was filming something in Mexico, there was this horse, right? And it was being beat up by all the other horses. Like, it was a poor lonely horse, and it never fought back or anything. And so he flew it back to New York, to a farm that he has. And this horse bonded with his son, like, and it helps his. I know, it's straight out. It should be a movie in itself. Like, that's such a good story, such wholesome stuff. This horse like understood and like helped his son, and they just bonded. And people that are diagnosed with autism connect with animals sometimes a lot more.
Yes.
Or you know, yeah.
Like support animals, like sometimes are really big, like huge, like support system for I feel like it's mainly children, but obviously the pets grow with them and stuff, so they
right.
I don't know. It's a thing. So
okay,
you are correct.
Okay, yeah, they definitely. It seems like they form relationships that really, I don't know, it calms them. It's a calming experience for both, and it's great, and that's just a great story that Brendan shared in that article, and I loved it.
Does the horse have a name?
The horse does have a name. The horse's name is Pecas. I don't know, Pecas, Pecas. It's the Spanish word for freckles. It keeps doing that.
Does the horse have freckles on its fur?
I don't know, but I don't know why I mentioned Danny Boyle, but I think it was because at this point in Brendan Fraser's career, he had been changed and he had learned a lot about himself. And Danny Boyle noticed that in this show, The Affair. He saw Brendan Fraser playing in this, and he was like, he just saw like that like sparkle in the eye, I guess, type of moment where it's
Yeah.
is where he was like, I've seen a person that's just so changed by experiences and like is new and newly refreshed, that type of thing. And it's just really nice to hear that, he took the time he needed, whether it was his choice or not. I hopefully most of it was his choice, but I feel like at the beginning of this whole thing, it might have been one of those like being blacklisted type of things.
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And
I could see it go both ways.
Exactly. But it sounds like, at this point, like it was really nice to see in this article that he had gotten to a point where he, seemed to be doing much better.
As long as he is happy and he doesn't let the toxicity of the Hollywood culture get to him still. And he's like thriving with his kids and Peckus and
exactly. At some point he had gotten his first interview in years. And it was just super uncomfortable, I guess, to watch. Like he just seemed really sad and really down, and it was just like uncomfortable, I guess. And
was he just uncomfortable?
So there was a reason for it, but the public didn't really care. They just kind of jumped to conclusions and brought up like his divorce and the past, and there was a lot of speculation to it, and it was as simple as he was mourning the loss of his mother just days before his mom died, or she passed away. Yeah. And he was really sad, and he did this interview. That's still fair. And yeah, and I just wanted to bring that up because like I said, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure when this happened, like in relation to the Danny Boyle, the affair thing, but I just wanted to bring it up because, again, that's like another toxic thing that the public and the media just spread misinformation, anything for a story, that type of thing.
Right. And even so, like, even if he wasn't grieving his mother, if he was getting divorced, I mean, let him be kind of sad about his divorce without being judgy.
I think he had been divorced at that point.
Oh,
people just brought it up or something. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know when he got divorced, but yeah. But you bring up a good point. Like if he was getting divorced, like you're allowed to be sad during those whole experiences. Those are not like fun experiences to go through.
I wouldn't know, but I wouldn't imagine it would be fun.
I think he's doing a lot better now. There was a couple things that he people were really excited to see him in. He was working with like Leonardo DiCaprio, and other big name actors. It's called Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't know what it's about, but it has Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro.
Damn. Yeah. What year is this? Is it out? Or is it not?
I don't think it's out yet. Or maybe it came out. Oh, release date it's going to be November of this year.
Oh, so Merry really freaking Christmas.
Merry freaking Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for Brendan.
Yes. What do you say? Playing. Instead of having like football playing on the TV, have that movie playing.
Yeah, man. Sunday night movies with Brendan Fraser.
Listen, this is literally making me want to like watch all of his shit. Like,
I know, just because. Right? Exactly.
That's 77 movies, Casey. I'm looking it up.
Hell yeah. I love it. I'll watch every single one. We'll do it with all of you. Movie nights with the dudes.
Even the ones where he's uncredited. 'Cause they're still
Uncredited.
on here. Yes. No, this is fun. I love how it kind of turned into like, let's learn about Brendan Fraser.
I know. And he was just
I'm
such
okay with it.
right. No, he was such a big part of something that I feel like needs to be talked about more, males in Hollywood and stuff, and how it
Right.
just how it
And it
is.
works.
Just know that we
Fine.
love him, and that's all that matters, that
Yes.
we are happy that he got back to a place where he feels he can act again, and hopefully nothing bad ever happens to him ever again.
Seriously, never.
This wholesome
He's-
man. I'm glad we talked about that, and thank you for listening to my little story, rant, whatever. Hopefully it was interesting enough to make you think about how you treat celebrities and reevaluate.
Yes.
Do something about it. This is what
Be
we're doing. We're
kind.
talking about it. Be kind.
Especially to Kanye.
Be kind, but also be aware. And
fair.
Don't ignore the red flags if they are there. Taylor.
My beautiful dark twisted fantasy.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.